Good morning, Coffee with Karen friends. How's it going today? Much different than yesterday. I decided you deserved this mug today compared to yesterday's conversation. Oh my gosh. Oh, Lucy. How's it going today? So, of course, I had a totally different topic I was going to talk about last night because it had occurred to me and I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then I woke up this morning. And then I woke up this morning and I was like, okay, I guess I'll talk about this topic. Because it is kind of a follow-up to yesterday's, which if you missed that one, it was about me finding out that my sister-in-law, who I've known like practically my whole life, and is like a sister to me, voted for 45, and I was just flabbergasted. So I'm over it. I healed it. I figured things out. I did a follow-up part 1 and part 2. So if you didn't watch the part 2, you'll see what my aha was. And you know, it's funny because if I think about it right now, what my aha was, I can't even remember what it was, but I'm accepted. Do you know what I mean? Because of my aha. So it's interesting. That's a intuitive big picture person for you in terms of personality type. There's 2 different areas in it. So it's N for intuitive or S for sensing. And intuitives, it doesn't have anything to do with the intuitive stuff that we talk about here. Well, maybe it does, but anyways, more big picture. I'm going into the weeds on that, and that will be very boring. So we'll come back to that another day. Okay, yes, I did just get up, so you got to accept that my brain just went somewhere that didn't make any sense. And if you're wondering why, like some days I have really bad bedhead, it's because every two days, maybe every third night, I shower at night. So because I don't like being sticky or anything when I'm sleeping. And so every third night, 2 nights, I'll wash my hair. And then I go to bed with my hair wet-ish. So then I get up like this morning, I'll wet it down and then put some stuff in it because my hair is so fine. I have to put something in it. She's really loud. Hey, Luce, this is what I have to do. So people tell me to let her do this, but hey, Lucy, come here. Come here. Come on. People who are new to this channel are going to be like, what am I watching right now? Or they're not going to watch it. They're probably gone. They're gone already. Come here. Come on. Come on. Okay, I think she's quieter. Anyways, I am going to follow up on the N and the S thing because that was very weird and scattery. So the Myers-Briggs, if you haven't taken it, there's 8 letters, okay? So I'm not going to get into detail about that, but the second set of letters, you are either an intuitive or a sensor, okay? And you are born, these are innate traits. This is how, there's 70 years of research on this, so it's well proven and well documented, and if you understood them, you would understand that, like, you can see it in everybody. So you either have a preference of sensing, which is this is how you organize information and take in information. So you either take in information, what you need is step by step, okay? How you process information is step by step, A, B, C, D, E, okay? If you don't get that information, it would be hard for you to learn, basically, okay? Intuitives, which is the N, it's just what they call it, N, intuitive, learn and take in information by big picture. So if I don't get the big picture first, which is funny because I didn't even tell you what today's topic, well, you know what today's topic is going to be because it's in the subject line, okay? But as an intuitive, if you don't get that topic right away, you're like, I can't place anything you're talking about. And until you start actually talking about like what the big picture is, then I can't hear you because I need to understand the umbrella first before I start placing the information. So sensors don't need that necessarily. Depends on how strong of a sensor you are, but which they don't really use strong, and they don't use a scale like that, but I do because it makes sense. Because I've used it for a long time and it just makes sense. But so yeah, so when you're teaching people something or you're trying to learn something, she's running around now. You have to kind of think about how people learn, right? If you want to make an impact. And so people the sensors who they literally need the steps from A to Z, like fill me in on all that, which is why I came back to this. I mean, it's not why I came back to it, but sensors needed this. Intuitives were, like I was very intuitive when I first started talking about it. I was very N because I was just like big picture and not filling in the gaps. And you get it, right? So, and that's why it's like intuitive. Now, just because you might be a sensor in how you learn, that it might make it a little bit more challenging to intuit your way. I don't even know if that's the right word. I'm making that up. Intuit your way through life, especially on the spiritual side of things. It just occurred to me that might actually be because my husband, I've talked about all my close friends are ISTJs. My husband's an ISTJ. My sister's an ISTJ. And so the sensor, like my husband just, he can appreciate that I appreciate all this stuff, but he just doesn't get it, So I'll have to think about, he just doesn't get the intuitive part of it. So he would if he spent a lot of time here, but because I think my sister is. Hi, Marsh. Because I think she's reading a lot of comments like I am. And so she's understanding this world a little bit better. And I wonder how many people are intuitives who are finding themselves here. That's interesting. Not just spiritual intuition, but Myers-Briggs intuition. Myers-Briggs N's. So if you're an N or S, I'd be curious if you put it in the chat. I'm going to call it the chat, but in the comments. Okay, on to today's topic. So what I'm talking about is what a healthy relationship looks like between someone who voted for Harris and someone who voted for 45. Okay? And this just occurred to me this morning because this is a real life story, which is really the only thing I can share because, then I can talk authentically about stuff. So when I started getting kind of heavy, when Harris was endorsed, basically, not just by Biden, but by the delegates. That's what people on the other side didn't understand. The delegates actually are the ones who do the official endorsements. So the people at a primary will vote on who they would like, but the delegates are the ones who have to do the endorsements. So that's probably more complicated than that, and you don't need to, you could, if you wanted to clarify for people in the comments, they might be interested in that. Yeah, so that'd be great. Because it's really about, again, the conversation that people are having in comments. If for those who want to spend time in the comments and reading, it's really where a lot of the conversation and new perspectives can take place. But so anyway, so as soon as Harris, and I was so excited about it, so I started, I got my childless cat lady shirt, so I posted a picture of that on Facebook. And I have a bunch of friends on there, but I used to do art, like mixed media. And so a lot of the people, I don't even know, people would friend me, And then I have high school friends that I've never seen since I left high school, who it's just interesting once in a while to pop in and see what they're doing. I literally have never hung out with anybody from high school, ever. Because I left, I went to college 5 hours away, so I just never, new beginnings, So I posted that. Oh, and then the other people on my Facebook were mostly my husband's family. They have, it's fun because they have like and they're more active on there with each other. There's like a family group thing on there. So my brother-in-law, so yesterday I was talking about my sister-in-law on my side of the family, and I grew up with her, which is why I think that was so much harder for me than this. But so my brother-in-law, who we all knew he's very religious, and it really guides his life, and it's a very sweet way of how it guides his life. He's a super nice guy. So is my sister-in-law. Same thing, super nice. He and I, like, my brother-in-laws on that side of the family. So my husband has 3 sisters that all live close to each other. And so I have 3 brother-in-laws. So I don't have any, he has 2 brothers, but they don't live close, and neither one of them's passed, and one of them we don't see very often, and he's not married. He does have a longtime girlfriend, but I don't know her very well. So anyways, my brother-in-laws I've known for 30 years. And when we get together, it's like, I don't know, I love that. I love my family too, but I'm just very grateful for my in-laws. But the sisters, they all have a common language. So they all talk to each other, and I'm like the girl, it's just slightly removed from that. They have a common language. Doesn't mean they want to leave me out, but if we're ever together in a group, then they kind of have a common language. And so I always talk to the brother-in-laws. I talk to them too, but you know what I mean. So I've always connected with the brother-in-laws. When I sit down individually with the sister-in-laws, each one, they're just amazing. The whole family is just delightful. So anyways, that's just a little background, because we were quite surprised with how my brother-in-law was responding to some of my posts. Now, I think I posted my shirt. I posted a link to Harris's first rally, or one of the rallies where she was talking about policy. So I wasn't trying to rub it in anybody's face. I was trying to just say, hey, this is what I found out about, except for my t-shirt, of course. But how can you resist? Childless cat ladies. That comment was ridiculous. So anyways, I posted her policies so that people that were following me on Facebook would see her policies. And then I posted something about immigration. But each time, he was like being kind of rude, actually. Like, he gave me a thumbs down on the t-shirt, which was, at first I was like, wow. Like, he didn't need to do anything. I was surprised. And so was my husband. And then I posted the video about her talking about her policies, and he wrote like, oh my God, I couldn't even listen to it for 2 seconds because of her voice. And I'm like, what is happening? And he made a comment that I hear from the other side. And I thought, okay, this is interesting. He made a comment like, I couldn't even listen to her for a second. You tell me what they were. And I'm like, oh, that was the video. And then I sent back the list of her policies. And he wrote like, well, it doesn't matter. We're never going to agree. Okay. That's a very MAGA thing to do. Like, first, you tell me, like trying to challenge you to say, like, tell me there's any worth here, because they don't think there is. That's very common. I've seen that kind of dialogue from MAGA. Now, it might be from the other side too, but I don't know. People might do that as well. Maybe that's just a normal political thing. And then, yeah, when he said, then he didn't even bother reading it. Oh, well, we won't agree anyways. So I'm like, well, you asked what they were, So anyways, and then there was a third thing. It was the immigration. I sent something about immigration, like facts about immigration, because I was hearing all this misinformation. So I was trying to put facts out there. And he kind of came back at me, but and then he said something like, because I was running an internet, I had an internet business where I was doing YouTube videos for selling printable and digital planners, like how to do that on Etsy. And I've been selling on Etsy, like planners on Etsy, which, by the way, you can visit if you want to. If you're looking for a planner for 2024, not only that, but this is a commercial, like manifesting planners and a whole bunch of different stuff. But I've been selling those for a while. I have a 70% off discount link in the description only for YouTube people. I don't do 70% off in the shop. I think during Black Friday I have a 60% off started, but I usually run 50% off. So 70% off just for YouTube folks. Okay. Anyways, that was my little commercial. So anyways, in the immigration comment, he put, oh, well, something about something about taxes. Well, he's going to protect taxes even for internet businesses or something like that in quotes. Now, because, this is how you read things. Internet, like, I'm putting a tone to it, because that's how I read it. So when I saw that, I unfriended him because it got personal, and I thought, what the hell? And then I come to find, and I'm going to tell you then what happened afterwards, because I'm talking about what a healthy relationship looks like. So that part didn't feel too healthy, It's the aftermath that is the healthy part. So anyways, I come to realize that like the sisters and my nieces to one sister were like all calling her like, what the hell's going on? Behind the scenes, nobody was saying anything, but behind the scenes, everybody was like, oh my gosh, because I think I'm 100% certain that everybody in that immediate family are Democrats, except for him. So they just don't talk. I mean, we don't talk. Just like most families, you don't sit around and talk politics. The only one who does that is my dad, my biological dad, who just, has to bait me all the time, which won't be happening anymore. So anyways, so apparently there was a bunch of chatter behind the scenes because like people were seeing like some of his true political nature come out. And so I've not talked to anybody, but my husband's been hearing that. So it's pretty funny. Like literally my nieces were calling one of my sister-in-laws, her daughter, she has 4 daughters, and they were like, it was like drama, they were, did you see that Karen unfriended him? Because I think my last response to him was, wow, Gary, this just got personal, And so, oops, I just outed him. Oh, well. Not anybody's going to know who it is anyways. So anyways. Okay, so I unfriended him. All right. This is going into what a healthy relationship can look like. Okay. So I unfriended him. And within 5 hours, now I don't know how he noticed I unfriended him. He might have, because I wrote, wow, that just got personal. So he might have tried to go back in and respond to that. Because I'm not really on Facebook at all. And in fact, I'm going to talk to the fam about going over to Blue Sky because I'm hearing that that's the place to be. Because I don't want anything to do with those oligarchs. Oligarch. Is that how you say it? You don't need to tell me how to say it in the chat. You know who I'm referring to. Hi, sis. So, hi. Good morning. You want to see the baby? They want to see you. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Hi. Say hi. Say hi. Yeah. Say hi, Lewis. She smells so good. Ugh. What a cuddler. So anyways, I know you're waiting for the my brain is a little slow this morning. Okay, so he finds out that I unfriended him and he calls. That's what a healthy relationship looks like. He calls me. And I didn't see the call, but I was not in a position to want to talk about it because I'm an emotional person and I'm like, I don't want to say something that, so I'm glad I didn't catch the call. And he's like, oh, please call me back. He goes, I noticed you unfriended me. Please call me back. I want to talk to you about it. So I just sent him a message because I was actually going to the gym or I was at the gym, I think. And I sent him a message and I said, because he had said, I'm really sorry, please forgive me. I think that's what he said in the message is I'm sorry, please forgive me, which is like the Ho'oponopono prayer, which is really interesting. That's exactly what he said. And so I was like, yeah, I'm not, he called right away. I'm angry about what he said, but I like him and love him too much that I'm not yeah, he called me right away. Like that is cool, right? That's a healthy relationship. So I just sent him a message. I really didn't want to talk about it, believe it or not. Mostly because I'm a very emotional person and I just don't, it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. I just don't want to be, if I talk to people, especially like in that situation, I can maybe make it worse or more dramatic just because, not because I'll say something, but because there's no doubt I would cry because that's just how it is. But anyway, so I just wrote him back and I said, basically, I'm going to show you my video that I sent him because this is part of the story. So I said back to him, at the gym right now, thanks for your message. I really appreciate it. It definitely started to feel a bit personal rather than healthy debate, so I got uncomfortable. That being said, I decided to stop posting stuff as I don't want to cause rifts as well with friends and family, which is true. I stopped posting after that. I truly appreciate you calling and all is forgiven. If I've irritated you, I apologize as well. And then just some personal stuff, like plans. So now I haven't seen him since that happened. And that was that was in September. So I didn't go. My husband's been going to visit his mom once a month because she is 92. She's going to be 93 coming up. And she has dementia. So he's been going to visit her. They live like 3 hours away, 3.5 hours away. So he's been going up once a week to visit her and just, hang out and give a little relief to the family of hanging out. And so I was going with. But I didn't go in October because I think I didn't feel right about it. I felt uncomfortable. And now I'm not going in November because I'm leaving to go see my sister today. And so I'm not going today. But I wanted him to know that I wasn't avoiding him because it maybe seemed like, because we would stay at their house. So anyways, when this whole thing went down with my dad, which if you've been around here, you'd know, I think people who've been around here are the only ones who probably sit and listen to this anyways. Coffee with Karen. I don't know if you're new here and you want to, this is interesting to you. You'll have to tell me. Because I wonder if any, this kind of video would attract any new people that want to stick around this channel. I don't know. I'm not doing it I'm never going to run this channel to attract new people. I just can't do it. It's like whoever finds themselves here, because otherwise this would be, it would just not be the same. So anyways, the day I kind of cut off with my dad and it was the final straw. And again, with him, it's been a long time coming. It's like this whole election results got me to finally say enough is enough. So that same day I sent him, and I haven't listened to this since, so I'm being kind of vulnerable, but I'm going to see if I can play this for you. So I sent him this video. Well, here. Hey, Gary, how are you? I just wanted to say thank you, actually. I know you and I, well, you know, everybody has different political opinions, but I wanted to say thank you for reaching out and caring more about me as a family member than you did about, you know, our political views. Because the reason being is because my dad, my own dad, does not do that. And I told him even this time, we've always had political differences. And he told me, I told him like last week via email that I really needed him to stop doing that, like baiting me and stuff. And that if he wanted a stronger relationship with me, that would be a good thing to do. And he never responded, and he just sent an email after Trump won and gloated. So I wanted to thank you for being the person you are, which is way different than who he is. So I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time I see you. I'm not avoiding you. I'm actually in November. Jim's going to come in November, and I'm going to see my sister in Wyoming. But I do hope to see you in December, okay? Okay, have a good one. Okay, so I sent him that. My husband didn't know I was sending it, and he watched it. And, okay, this is a person who I've probably seen cry 5 times. And he started crying when I sent that. So didn't really explain why. I mean, I was like, why are you crying? But that's how touched he was about it. So, and then he wrote back, Karen, you are welcome. Political people come and go, but family is forever. And I know many of you, because people are commenting, especially in that last video, how relatable my issues are with certain people in my family. So I know that alone might be painful for some people to see, because there's a couple of people who wrote comments about their own sons who are actually voted for 45. I was going to think of something funny to say about that, but there was nothing. And they're disowning the other way around. I'm like, what is happening? I mean, I understand, so yeah, it's going both ways right now, which really goes back to, I was going to have a separate conversation about this, and I might talk about this tomorrow, but I want you to notice right now, I noticed something yesterday. So if you hang out on YouTube at all, you're going to notice there are more videos coming out that are angry videos. Okay. You're going to notice that if you pay attention to whatever, what's getting in your feed. And I realized, like, I said that even before I realized this, I was like, what the heck? Like, you can see it. I said to my husband, things are ramping up, and I was starting to I had to turn it off. I was like, things are ramping up. But then I realized, I looked more closely at the grieving process. So we are going through a collective grieving process, even with even people who voted for 45. I don't know why. I don't know why they're going through a grieving process, but they are. And it's probably in response to our grieving process. Okay. Because first it was denial. That's the first part of it. Denial. And I think, if you even listen to like Political Girl, she couldn't even come on for a week. People were just in denial about it. And I think that's where all the conspiracy theories come out, or like the wanting to, this doesn't look right and all that kind of stuff. That's the denial process. So a lot of that stuff took like 2 weeks. And I'm seeing less and less, except for more of the intuitive community, I'm seeing less and less talk about that denial. But now it's anger. And that is the second phase of the grieving process. And you can see it. You can see it collectively. Holy schmoly. So right now, It might, I mean, how long is the anger phase going to take? I don't know. I don't know. But we'll move past it. We already moved past the denial phase. Well, some of us have. I'm still hanging on. I'm still hanging on a tiny bit. But I've accepted. I mean, I've accepted because just probably to protect myself, but it's what is, you know? And the more I see the bigger purpose of everything, the easier it is. That obviously collectively, all this stuff had to happen. It would not have happened if Harris would have won first. If she would have, like, if the true results, wink, wink, would have come out first, we'd be having totally different conversations. And it wouldn't have healed our country. It wouldn't heal. We are eventually going to heal from this. I don't know how long it's going to take. But the folks, the bigotry, even in all of us, in all of us, it's the light is shining on all of it. We were all raised with some form of bigotry, some form of prejudice. Everybody is, because that's what our country is founded on. Anyone who's been hiding under rocks, they're out and they're enjoying it. I mean, I've seen some things that I'm like, whoa. I don't want to talk about it here because I'm trying not to do too many, like, conversations that are triggering, just more thoughtful. So I don't like to give the detail just because it's, I don't even know. Anyways, but if you want to know, like, look at, just look up Texas campus, college campus and protest or something and see what people had on their signs. It was unbelievable. And I know in Detroit, there were some people waving flags on a highway or something, which aren't, flags you don't do. You just don't. So, so they're feeling pretty proud of themselves. They can come out of the closet now. But that needed to happen. We need to see this stuff. Now we can see it. And it's quite shocking. But we always knew it was there. So we need it to come up. Then we can start. You can't heal something. It's just like the same thing in our bodies. You can't heal it. You feel it. We have been feeling it as a nation forever. Some more than others. Big time. Women feel it for certain, have been feeling it, and anyone who's not raised as a white man in the, especially from middle class on, they're about the only ones who probably don't feel it unless they've been paying attention and educated themselves and learned. But everybody else has been feeling it, their whole lives. And it's, it's the same thing. It's like sometimes you feel it, don't know necessarily what it is. You can't identify it. So that's what, if we talk about what bubbles up in us, when I do angel card readings, you'll either, like in the spirit circle, I'm going to do one today. I missed yesterday, I think. But the soul mirror, it's, you either see a knot in you or you see something to be celebrated in you, because there's not a knot, And so a lot of this is we're all seeing our knots right now. And the world collectively, our humanity, we're seeing our knots. And it's painful, isn't it? It's really painful. And so we're going through the grieving process of how we've been. And that's why the Ho'oponopono prayer is so powerful, because it's so short. I did a video on that too. The video title is the name of the prayer. It's I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. That's the title, subject title, if you want to go listen to that. But that prayer is so powerful because you can use it to identify, you can use it as a way of recognizing any role that you played as in the collective. To, we've all played a role unconsciously or consciously in everything that's going on. Everything. Small ways. We've all, how we think, thoughts we've had. We've all played a role. So I love that prayer for that. But I'm going to keep warning you. Say it once, only about one topic. If you say it, if you use it, because it's so fat, it's so short. If you say that prayer about all different things in one day, you are going to get a gut punch. Because your body will you're going to heal those things in your body. And I was doing that yesterday. Even I was like, I'm going to say it. Yeah, I felt like crap. I felt like crap yesterday. Enough where I had to take anxiety medication. And I think it was because of that prayer. So don't be afraid of the prayer. Just don't do too many in a day. Do one, because that prayer is literally bringing that stuff up in you then and helping you heal. I think when people say that prayer, they think they're just saying it to the outer, but it's the inner that you're healing, because then you won't continue to contribute the way you were contributed to the collective and to the humanity, the way you were, So, yeah. So I haven't taken anxiety medication. I do take an antidepressant every night, but I haven't taken just anti-anxiety medication for a long time. I just have it just in case, but woo, that one really bubbled up yesterday. I was, yeah, glutton for punishment. Now I remember, because when I first did that video, I was talking in there about, I remembered that being the case about it, but I couldn't remember how I felt. But I remembered warning people, just take it slow. And now I just experienced it again. So I remember. So yeah. Okay. Well, would love to hear your comments for dialogue in the chat. And tomorrow I won't be sitting at the couch. I'll be sitting in a different couch. I'm so excited. Going to see my sister. Going to see my sister. And not only my sister, but my brother-in-law and her 3 kids that live close, and 2 grands. I have 2 greats, and she's got 2 grands that live there. So excited. All right. Until tomorrow, or until the next video, have an amazing day. Try to smile. I thought you deserved this today compared to yesterday. All right. Have an amazing one. Bye-bye.